With me now to discuss is Jordan Sekulow, President and CEO of American Center for Law and Justice. He also served on Trump's legal team for the Mueller investigation and first impeachment trial. Jordan, thanks so much for being with us. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So what do you make of Congressman James Comer's message to the Biden DOJ saying, do not indict Hunter Biden before his press conference on Wednesday?
So for me, I had a lot of experience with Adam Schiff in a similar role. And all I would want from Comer, and I have no reason not to trust Comer and his team. He's a very serious person. But to go out with a statement like this, of course, means you've got to deliver. And so to tell the Department of Justice and the U.S. attorney, who is a Trump appointee who is overseeing this. He's not a special counsel. They allowed that U.S. attorney in Delaware to stay in place. But understand that U.S. attorney is pushing against a wall inside the Department of Justice that is not friendly to bring any charges against Hunter Biden. Even some of these that Comer's worried about are just kind of slap on the wrist, very low level, kind of the lowest level felony charge you can have. You wouldn't have jail time in those kind of situations. But to come out and say to the Department of Justice and that U.S. attorney that don't take any action, which most people expect there's something happening the next couple of weeks with an indictment on Hunter Biden. Don't do anything until we have our press conference. That press conference needs to deliver. And if it is what he's saying it is, that they can detail transactions, foreign transactions to Vice President Biden or LLCs that he controlled while he was vice president, and that he actually made policy decisions based off getting those payments. So bribery of a top U.S. official. If you can really make that case, not just to the American people, though that's hurdle number one, but then to the Department of Justice, which is an even bigger hurdle when it's being run by Democrats and appointees of the president himself. So two big hurdles. I certainly hope we meet them. But I think you realize, too, making that kind of statement, we've got to deliver. We cannot be the Adam Schiffs of the world to say, I've got evidence of Russian collusion and never have that evidence.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But what's concerning to me is the injustice system, and we know how that works, right? Americans know now that if charges are ultimately brought to Hunter Biden, that he would receive a fair trial. Like, he would not, receive a fair trial when the Biden family is obviously deeply connected to the whole thing. So how does that work out if the whole system is ultimately corrupt?
Yeah, we have to change the system. I mean, we've all lost so much faith in these institutions that we have to have the most faith in. The legal system, you have to have trust that it's fair. If it goes against someone you like, that's fair. It goes against someone you don't like, and that really isn't important. You just trust the system. Same with the IRS, same with so many departments. But to reform those, we can't just have one election victory, one term as a president, one term as, while that president gets one House and one Senate. You've got to have time to fundamentally transform Washington, D.C. from the inside, which is the most difficult thing to do. President Trump can tell you that. I mean, draining the swamp means going through two impeachments. It means going through special counsel investigations, because the swamp does fight back, and they've got teeth. Those alligators in the swamp have teeth, and they bite back. So you've got to have more time. So if we elect President Trump, or if we elect a Ron DeSantis, you've got to then elect a Republican House that's going to be with them, and Senate, and you've got to give them the time to actually reform these institutions. Because even if you're a U.S. attorney, and I have no reason to believe that the Trump appointee Weiss, who is the U.S. attorney from Delaware investigating this, is acting in good faith. I'm sure he is. Imagine when he's trying to get info from this Department of Justice that he works for, when he's trying to look for info that would implicate the president's son in criminal activity. So that cannot be. It's got to be very difficult when we know how partisan these actors have become, which is a very sad point for our country. We have to have faith in our elections, faith in our institutions. Some of those have got to be fundamentally just transformed. We've been preaching it from the ACLJ for over a decade now, that we think that the IRS is just beyond being reformed, that it's got to be totally abolished and redone, how we do that process. I hope we aren't there with the Department of Justice and FBI, but we are very close to that point where you have to kind of start from scratch. And that's not an easy thing to do in a country our size, in a country as important as the United States is.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.